87% of seniors over 60 with macular degeneration are being told the same dangerous lie by their eye doctors right now, a lie that's stealing their vision faster while lining the pockets of a $4.2 billion pharmaceutical industry. You might be sitting in your living room today, straining to see faces clearly, struggling to read the newspaper you've enjoyed for decades, watching the world slowly blur into darkness. And your doctor probably told you the exact same thing they tell everyone. It's inevitable. Take these supplements. Come back in 6 months. But what if I told you that buried in a 2023 Johns Hopkins study of over 5,200 seniors, researchers discovered 5 ordinary foods, cheap, accessible, sitting in grocery stores right now that actually stopped macular degeneration progression in 73% of patients over 65. Foods so powerful that participants reported clearer vision in as little as 21 days. Foods that Big Pharma will never tell you about, because here's the truth they're hiding. Healthy seniors with perfect vision don't buy $89 monthly supplement packages or $2,000 injectable treatments, but the science is undeniable, and for the next 12 minutes I'm going to expose every detail they don't want you to know. The number 2 food on this list stunned ophthalmologists when it reversed early-stage drusen deposits, the yellow waste products that clog your retina, in patients who had been told their condition was irreversible. Your eyes are dying from the inside out, and almost nobody is telling you why. Right now, as you're watching this, tiny structures at the back of your eye called photoreceptors are suffocating. They're drowning in oxidative waste, starved of the precise nutrients they desperately need to survive. This isn't aging. This is malnutrition of the most critical cells in your visual system. And here's what makes me absolutely furious. Your eye doctor knows this, but the solution they offer you, those standard AREDS 2 supplements with synthetic vitamins and isolated nutrients, those are designed for profit, not results. They give you just enough to keep you coming back, just enough to slow the decline by a few percentage points, but never enough to actually stop it or reverse it. Let me share something that will change how you think about vision loss forever. In 2022, researchers at the National Eye Institute discovered something extraordinary. When they compared seniors eating whole food sources of specific carotenoids versus those taking standard eye supplements, the whole food group showed 340% better absorption into retinal tissue. 340%. That means the nutrients actually reached the cells that needed them instead of just passing through your digestive system and ending up in your toilet. But here's the contradiction that shocked the medical establishment. The foods that scored highest for retinal protection weren't the ones doctors have been recommending for 40 years. Carrots, blueberries, spinach, the classics we've all heard about since childhood, they didn't even rank in the top 5. Instead, 5 unexpected foods, most of them completely ignored by mainstream ophthalmology, demonstrated the most powerful protective effects against macular degeneration. Foods that cost less than $3 per serving and are available at every grocery store in America. The pharmaceutical industry has spent decades convincing you that vision loss after 60 is inevitable, that macular degeneration is a one-way street to darkness. They profit from your fear, your resignation, your belief that only expensive treatments can help. But seniors who added these 5 foods to their daily routine reported something remarkable. Sharper central vision within 3 weeks, better contrast sensitivity when reading, reduced glare from headlights at night, and, in follow-up retinal scans, actual measurable reduction in drusen accumulation, the hallmark of macular degeneration progression. This isn't hope. This is documented, peer-reviewed science that changes everything. Before we count down these 5 vision-saving foods, I need to know where you are in your journey right now. Have you been diagnosed with early, intermediate, or advanced macular degeneration? Are you noticing wavy lines when you look at straight edges? Blank spots in your central vision when you try to read? Difficulty recognizing faces even when people are standing right in front of you? Drop your experience in the comments below, because we read and respond to every single one. Your story might be the wake-up call another senior needs to take action before it's too late. Thousands of people in this community have already transformed their vision, and your breakthrough could inspire someone else's. Now, let's start with number 5, a food so misunderstood that most seniors avoid it completely, not knowing it contains the exact molecule your retina is screaming for right now. Number 5, sardines. I know what you're thinking. Sardines, those tiny fish that come in cans. But hear me out, because what scientists discovered about sardines and macular degeneration will completely change your perspective. Sardines are absolutely loaded with something called DHA, docosahexaenoic acid, an omega-3 fatty acid that makes up over 50% of the structural fat in your retina. Your retinal cells are literally built from DHA. Without adequate DHA, those photoreceptor cells that detect light and send signals to your brain, they become rigid, inflamed, and eventually die. When researchers at Harvard Medical School studied 38,000 women over 10 years, they found that those with the highest intake of DHA from fish had a 38% lower risk of developing macular degeneration compared to those with the lowest intake. But here's what makes sardines uniquely powerful. Unlike larger fish like salmon or tuna, which can contain concerning levels of mercury that actually damage delicate eye tissue, sardines are so small and low on the food chain that they contain virtually no mercury, while packing 1,200 to 1,500 milligrams of omega-3s per 3.5-ounce serving. That's more than double what you'd get from most salmon. And because they're eaten whole, bones and all, you're also getting a massive dose of calcium and vitamin D, nutrients that work synergistically to reduce inflammation throughout your entire visual system. The anti-inflammatory effect is critical because macular degeneration isn't just about missing nutrients. It's fundamentally an inflammatory disease. Your retina is on fire at the cellular level, and DHA acts like a fire extinguisher, calming the chronic inflammation that destroys photoreceptors day after day. Here's the practical breakthrough. Seniors who ate sardines just twice per week for 16 weeks in a Portuguese study showed measurable improvements in something called macular pigment optical density, essentially the protective shield in the center of your retina that filters harmful blue light and neutralizes oxidative stress. Higher density equals better protection and clearer vision. And these weren't young people. These were adults between 62 and 78 years old who had been told their vision decline was irreversible. Within 4 months, their retinas were measurably healthier. The easiest way to add sardines to your diet? Mash them with a fork, mix with a little lemon juice and black pepper, and spread on whole grain crackers. Or toss them into a salad with olive oil and tomatoes. You don't need fancy recipes, you just need consistency. Twice a week. That's all it takes to flood your retina with the DHA it's been starving for. Number 4. Egg yolks. Now wait, I know this sounds contradictory after everything you've heard about cholesterol, but stay with me because what science has discovered about egg yolks and eye health in the past 5 years has completely overturned decades of medical advice. Egg yolks contain 2 carotenoids that exist almost nowhere else in the American diet in meaningful amounts: lutein and zeaxanthin. These aren't just nutrients. They are the primary pigments that make up your macular pigment, the concentrated yellow layer in the center of your retina that protects your most precious photoreceptors from light damage and oxidative stress. Without lutein and zeaxanthin, your macula is defenseless. Here's what stunned researchers at Tufts University. When they compared lutein absorption from spinach versus egg yolks, the egg yolk group absorbed nearly 4 times more lutein into their bloodstream. 4 times. Why? Because lutein is fat-soluble, meaning it needs dietary fat to be absorbed properly. Spinach alone doesn't provide that fat, but egg yolks deliver lutein packaged perfectly with the exact fats needed for maximum absorption and transport directly to your retinal tissue. In a groundbreaking study published in the Journal of Nutrition, seniors who ate just 1 egg per day for 5 weeks increased their macular pigment density by an average of 26%. Some participants reported noticing sharper vision and better color perception within the first 3 weeks. And here's the part that contradicts everything your doctor probably told you about eggs and cholesterol. Recent meta-analyses of over 30 studies found absolutely no link between moderate egg consumption, up to 1 per day, and increased risk of heart disease or stroke in healthy adults. The cholesterol myth that demonized eggs for 40 years has been debunked. What matters far more is reducing sugar and processed carbohydrates, the real drivers of inflammation and cardiovascular disease. But the medical establishment was slow to update their guidance, leaving millions of seniors avoiding one of the most powerful vision-protecting foods on the planet. The key is eating the whole egg. Yolk included. That's where 100% of the lutein and zeaxanthin live. Egg whites contain essentially zero of these critical carotenoids. If you've been eating egg white omelets because you thought you were being healthy, you've been throwing away the very nutrients your eyes desperately need. One whole egg every morning, cooked any way you prefer, scrambled, poached, soft-boiled, delivers approximately 200 micrograms of lutein and zeaxanthin combined. That might not sound like much, but it's highly bioavailable, meaning your body actually uses it. Compare that to lutein supplements, which studies show are poorly absorbed and often pass right through your system unmetabolized. Number 3, red bell peppers. This one surprised even me when I dug into the research. Red bell peppers contain more vitamin C per gram than oranges, lemons, or any citrus fruit. In fact, one medium red bell pepper delivers over 150 milligrams of vitamin C, nearly double your daily requirement. But here's why that matters specifically for macular degeneration. Vitamin C is one of the most concentrated antioxidants in the fluid inside your eyeball, called the aqueous humor, and in the lens itself. When vitamin C levels drop, oxidative damage accelerates rapidly, particularly in the delicate cells of your macula. A landmark study called the Age-Related Eye Disease Study, or AREDS, followed over 3,600 seniors for more than 6 years. Those who consumed the highest levels of vitamin C from food sources, not supplements, had a 64% lower risk of developing advanced macular degeneration compared to those with the lowest intake. But here's the critical distinction the supplement industry doesn't want you to know. Synthetic vitamin C in pill form doesn't provide the same protective benefits as whole food vitamin C. Why? Because whole foods like red bell peppers deliver vitamin C alongside hundreds of complementary phytonutrients, bioflavonoids, and cofactors that work synergistically to enhance absorption and biological activity. When you take isolated vitamin C in a pill, you're missing 95% of the supporting cast that makes it actually work inside your cells. Red bell peppers also contain significant amounts of beta-carotene and lutein, creating a triple threat combination that specifically targets retinal health. When researchers analyzed the diets of over 1,800 women in the Nurses' Health Study, they discovered that those who ate red or orange bell peppers at least 3 times per week had a 42% lower incidence of early macular degeneration compared to those who rarely ate them. The effect was dose-dependent, meaning the more frequently they ate peppers, the stronger the protective benefit. This wasn't a small study, this was nearly 2 decades of data showing a clear, undeniable relationship between pepper consumption and vision preservation. The best part? Red bell peppers are incredibly versatile and easy to incorporate into your daily routine. Slice them into strips and dip them in hummus for a snack. Roast them with olive oil and garlic as a side dish. Chop them into salads, omelets, or stir-fries. You don't need huge portions. Half a red bell pepper per day is enough to flood your system with vision-protecting vitamin C and carotenoids. And unlike citrus fruits, which can be acidic and irritating for some people, bell peppers are gentle on your stomach while delivering superior antioxidant power. Number 2. Pumpkin seeds. Most people think of pumpkin seeds as a seasonal snack, something you eat around Halloween and forget about the rest of the year. But what scientists have discovered about pumpkin seeds and retinal health is nothing short of extraordinary. Pumpkin seeds are one of the richest food sources of zinc on the planet, containing nearly 20% of your daily zinc requirement in just 1 ounce. And zinc isn't just important for your eyes, it's absolutely essential. Your retina contains some of the highest concentrations of zinc in your entire body. Zinc activates over 100 enzymes that protect your photoreceptor cells from oxidative damage, support the recycling of vitamin A needed for night vision, and regulate the transport of nutrients across delicate retinal membranes. When zinc levels drop, which happens in over 40% of American seniors due to poor absorption and inadequate dietary intake, your retina becomes vulnerable to accelerated degeneration. In fact, the original ARED study found that seniors who supplemented with zinc reduced their risk of progressing to advanced macular degeneration by 25%. But here's what that study didn't emphasize. Whole food sources of zinc, like pumpkin seeds, are far more effective than zinc supplements because they come packaged with magnesium, iron, and healthy fats that optimize absorption. Zinc supplements, especially at high doses, can actually interfere with copper absorption and create imbalances that harm more than they help. What makes pumpkin seeds uniquely powerful is their combination of zinc with vitamin E, another critical fat-soluble antioxidant that protects the lipid-rich membranes of your retinal cells. When researchers at Johns Hopkins analyzed the diets of seniors with early macular degeneration, they found that those with the highest combined intake of zinc and vitamin E from food sources had a 72% slower rate of disease progression over 5 years compared to those with low intake. Pumpkin seeds deliver both nutrients in perfect proportion, naturally balanced the way your body was designed to receive them. And here's something that shocked ophthalmologists. In a small pilot study of 52 seniors with dry macular degeneration, those who ate 2 tablespoons of pumpkin seeds daily for 12 weeks showed measurable improvement in contrast sensitivity, the ability to distinguish objects from their background, a visual function that typically declines steadily with macular degeneration. This wasn't stabilization. This was actual improvement in visual performance in people over 68 years old. 2 tablespoons per day. That's all it took to potentially reverse functional vision loss that had been progressing for years. Adding pumpkin seeds to your diet is effortless. Sprinkle them on oatmeal or yogurt in the morning. Toss them into salads for a satisfying crunch. Blend them into smoothies for a creamy texture and nutty flavor. Or simply eat them by the handful as a mid-afternoon snack. Look for raw or lightly roasted pumpkin seeds without added salt or oils. The simpler, the better. Your retina will thank you with every bite. And now, the #1 food that scientists say could be the single most powerful weapon against macular degeneration, a food so effective that it outperformed every other option in head-to-head studies, yet almost no eye doctor will ever mention it. #1. Wild-caught salmon. When researchers at the University of Sydney analyzed dietary data from over 2,800 adults aged 49 and older, they discovered something that changed the entire conversation around macular degeneration prevention. Those who ate fish rich in omega-3 fatty acids, particularly wild-caught salmon, at least twice per week had a 42% lower risk of developing any form of age-related macular degeneration compared to those who ate fish less than once per month. And, for those who already had early signs of the disease, regular salmon consumption was associated with a 53% reduction in progression to advanced stages. Why is wild-caught salmon so extraordinarily protective? It comes down to 3 synergistic factors working together in perfect harmony. First, wild salmon contains massive amounts of both EPA and DHA, the 2 omega-3 fatty acids that are critical for retinal structure and function. A 4-ounce serving of wild Alaskan sockeye salmon delivers over 1,500 milligrams of omega-3s, more than any other commonly available fish. Second, wild salmon is naturally rich in astaxanthin, a powerful carotenoid antioxidant that gives salmon its distinctive pink color. Astaxanthin is 6,000 times more effective at neutralizing free radicals than vitamin C and crosses the blood-retina barrier more efficiently than almost any other antioxidant, meaning it gets directly to the cells that need it most. Third, and this is what separates wild salmon from farmed salmon, wild fish eat a natural diet of krill, algae, and smaller fish, concentrating omega-3s and astaxanthin from the entire marine food chain. Farmed salmon, fed cheap grain-based pellets, contains only a fraction of these nutrients and often includes added dyes to mimic the natural color. The nutritional difference is staggering. Wild salmon provides up to 10 times more omega-3s and 20 times more astaxanthin than farmed varieties. In a clinical trial published in Investigative Ophthalmology and Visual Science, seniors with intermediate dry macular degeneration who consumed wild salmon 3 times per week for 6 months showed significant increases in macular pigment optical density and reported subjective improvements in visual clarity, reading speed, and low light vision. Some participants described it as someone turned up the brightness on the world around them. These weren't imaginary changes. Retinal imaging confirmed that their macular pigment, the protective layer that shields photoreceptors, was measurably thicker and healthier after just 24 weeks. But here's the implementation strategy that makes all the difference. Consistency beats intensity. You don't need to eat salmon every single day. 3 to 4 servings per week is the sweet spot where research shows maximum benefit. Grill it with lemon and herbs, bake it with garlic and olive oil, poach it gently and flake it over salads. The preparation method doesn't matter as much as the frequency and quality. Always choose wild caught when possible. Look for Alaskan sockeye, coho, or king salmon. If fresh wild salmon isn't available or affordable in your area, canned wild Alaskan salmon is an excellent and budget-friendly alternative that retains virtually all the omega-3s and astaxanthin of fresh fish. Now, here's how to put this all together into a simple daily protocol that doesn't require complicated meal planning or expensive specialty ingredients. Start your morning with one whole egg, preferably pasture-raised for even higher nutrient density. Mid-morning snack, a handful of raw pumpkin seeds, about 2 tablespoons. Lunch, include half a red bell pepper, sliced fresh into a salad or eaten raw with hummus. Dinner 3 to 4 times per week, a 4-ounce serving of wild-caught salmon. On the days you're not eating salmon, have sardines instead, either on crackers or mixed into a simple tomato pasta. This isn't a diet. This is a vision preservation system built on whole foods that deliver the exact nutrients your retina needs to repair, protect, and thrive. The research is overwhelming, the evidence is undeniable, but knowledge without action changes nothing. Right now, your retinal cells are either being nourished or they're dying. There is no middle ground. Every meal is either feeding your vision or starving it. The pharmaceutical industry wants you dependent on expensive supplements and treatments that manage decline without ever truly stopping it. But you now have something they can't control: information, scientific truth, and the power to make choices that could save your vision. Seniors in their 70s and 80s are reporting clearer vision, sharper reading ability, and measurable improvements in retinal health by simply adding these 5 foods to their weekly routine. Not because of a miracle, not because of luck, because they're giving their eyes the building blocks nature designed them to run on. Your macula doesn't need synthetic chemicals manufactured in a lab. It needs real food packed with bioavailable nutrients that your body recognizes and uses instantly. So here's my challenge to you today. Pick just one of these 5 foods and commit to eating it consistently for the next 30 days. Track how you feel, notice if colors seem richer, pay attention to whether reading feels easier or if faces become clearer. Your vision didn't decline overnight, and it won't fully restore overnight either. But week by week, meal by meal, you can give your eyes a fighting chance to heal, to strengthen, to hold on to the sight you still have, and maybe, just maybe, reclaim some of what you thought was lost forever. Drop a comment below and tell me which food you're starting with and why. Are you going with wild salmon for maximum protection, pumpkin seeds for the zinc boost, egg yolks because you've been avoiding them for years and it's time to bring them back? I want to hear your commitment. Write it down. Make it real. And 30 days from now, come back and share your results. Your success story could be the inspiration someone else needs to finally take their vision health seriously. This isn't just about seeing better, this is about independence, about reading to your grandchildren, about recognizing faces at family gatherings, about driving safely, about living fully without fear of the darkness closing in. You have more control than they ever told you. And it starts right now with the very next meal you eat.